Everybody, welcome back today for part 5 of our 5 of 8 in our adventures in estate sales. You've probably seen these rifles before. At least you've seen this one. I don't know if I've shown this one or not, but of course what is in front of us is one of those M44 Mosin Nagants. Don't know how well you can see this, but I'll probably insert a picture in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Of course, this is the shortened carbine Mosin Nagant. This one is an Izhevsk factory manufacturer, and it's not all numbers matching. It's mostly numbers matching. The stock itself does not match. The stock was added at some point in time, and this I'll put a link down in the description where I did a video on this. When I bought it from an auction house. I want to say this one came out of either Connecticut or Pennsylvania. But anyway, many of you probably full well know back in 2010, AIM Surplus imported some very beautiful arsenally refurbished 9130s. This is one of those examples. I wish I had bought many more of these rifles. This one is actually a Tula arsenal. This one was manufactured in 1938. It is absolutely in gorgeous condition. This thing was still packed in Coslin when I got it. My only regret, it does have a repair right there as you see in front of the mag wheel. My only regret was not buying more of these, especially considering the prices of Mosin Nagants right now. But neither of those two rifles are what I'm going to feature today. Today, we're going to take a look at this one. So this is another Izhevsk M44 Mosin Nagant. One of the neat things about this one is all numbers matching, and in addition, it's got the Arsenal refurbishment mark there on the buttstock. Like I said, this is all numbers matching. This is an absolutely gorgeous M44. I'll try to insert some pictures. Of course, you see this has the early bayonet style, or bayonet ear style, which doesn't have the front tabs. So deploying the bayonet on this one was a little bit more of a pain. But as you can see, this is just an absolutely gorgeous rifle. You see that the floor plate was actually force matched there. Just trying to show you some of these pictures, or show you some of these images. Let's flip this back over. But all in all, this one is in excellent condition. I would say this is much nicer than this other one that I got from that auction house. You will see that these two are pretty much identical, except for the fact that, of course, this one has a sling, this one has a mismatched stock. Strangely enough, you would actually see more of these stocks on I guess the Chinese Type 53s. Now, strangely enough, and you guys had, one of you or some of you had mentioned this in that previous video regarding this rifle, that if you look right here, and I inserted some pictures, you'll see it in that video down in the description. Right here is a stamp on the very top, I mean, you can't even hardly see it. It says China. And this has the same exact markings. I'll put these pictures side by side of the receivers. They have the same exact markings. So I struggle to really understand the true origin of this rifle. It could have been imported and just mislabeled. I don't know. But once again, that's not the focus of today's video. Today's video is the focus of this M44. I'll insert a picture of the bore up here. As you full well know, many of these rifles were counterbored. And if you guys know why they did that, you can let me know. Obviously, you see this one actually has the cleaning rod with it. Here I am hitting the table. But nonetheless, it's a very beautiful rifle. A very, very fine example of a nice M44. You know, it's in really good shape. I mean, I've got no complaints on it whatsoever. But I'll show you something else that I got along with this rifle, and that is this. Now, for those of you that are familiar, this is that light ball 7.62 by 54R. This one has a date of 1965, I believe, of production. And this, many of you may not have seen. This is some of that Czech training ammo. This is dated 1962, and this is actually around, they're corrosive, but out of these M44s, these carbines, they're a much greater pleasure to shoot because of this reduced power cartridge. It's not nearly as punishing as your full 7.62 by 54R. I show you those because, well, let me just move the rifles and I'll show you why. So stand by for just a moment while I get these rifles out of the way to show you how I come across, or show you where that ammunition came from. We're going to move that to the side. You have to bear with me. This is box number 1. Actually, I'm going to try to open it and then move it under the camera without knocking everything over. This is going to be fun. As you guys probably noticed, these are some of those crates. And I promise you, my video here does not do it justice, but you can see how full this really is. And that's basically where all of this wonderful training ammunition came from. Now, you'll have to bear with me because I've got to reference some notes that I made off camera regarding this. For this training ammunition, this, as you can see, this crate is not completely full, but just based on some quick estimates, at 12 rounds per box and 56 boxes, approximately 672 rounds of that Czech training ammunition. Oh, and one thing I meant to show you is something that's kind of cool. It still has the original papers in it. I'll try to get a close-up of these. I'll put some screenshots up here so you guys can see them. But this is really slick. I mean, the original paperwork that came inside of these. You know, most people probably don't think it's that big of a deal, but I think stuff like this is kind of cool from a historical perspective. Just something really cool to have. So let me carefully move this crate without knocking my camera over. Let me close this back. Yes, there's another crate. Let's move that. It's very heavy. And here's the second crate. Now, obviously, while I'm going through this, I'm going to put some photos of the fronts of these crates so you guys can see what this is. Let me open this so that I can then move it under the camera. Fun times. And you can see the original zinc box that this was sealed in. Now, it has been broken open, but what's inside, once again, it's not completely full, but we'll just grab one box out. There's still a lot in here. Now, in terms of this is that light ball ammunition. This is that white tip 7.62 by 39. You have approximately 20 rounds per box, and there's 29 boxes in here. This is approximately 580 rounds. But don't take my word for it. Let's check it out. Gorgeous shape. I really don't think this was used much. And you guys can see it here. I'm trying to get a better background here. Of course, this has 1965 head stamp. Once again, this is corrosive, so if you shoot it out of your Nagants, you do have to do some pretty thorough cleaning. Highly recommended, unless you want a frosted bore or a pitted bore. So let me move that crate out of the way. I venture to say if you try to buy a crate of this presently, I was doing some research. Of course, I found this out after the fact. Of course, after I acquired all this stuff. Doing some research, and you're going to pay approximately, I want to say, $500 for a box of 800 of the Light Ball 762 by 54R. I want to say I saw that at like Gun Mag Warehouse, maybe? I'm not real sure. But anyway, so that's kind of what came along with this. The ammunition was actually a separate purchase. Of course, I'll detail all that at the very end of this series, but it's a very nice addition to this rifle, as well as my other Mosin Nagants. So anyway, of course, like I said, this one is all numbers matching. As you saw, the bore is in very nice shape. I mean, there's zero complaints here that I have about this rifle. It's just a really fine example of an M44. The only unfortunate aspect is, of course, it does have that import marking. You know, CAI did a lot of imports of these, but it's still a really nice rifle nonetheless. And to find one without a boogered up stock is also super nice, because oftentimes you'll find these with cracked stocks, broken stocks. I don't really know why. Maybe you guys do. Maybe you guys know why that happens. Maybe it's overpressured cartridge, or maybe the bolts, you know, the bolt firing pin protrusion isn't set right. I don't know. I don't know, all the ins and outs of everything. But once again, very nice M44 Mosin Nagant. So just wanted to share that with you guys today. Be on the lookout for part 6 of 8 in my Adventures in Estate Sales. That'll be coming out next. Just as a little teaser, I'm going to be featuring a Yugoslavian SKS in that one. But just as a disclaimer, unfortunately, that Yugoslavian SKS was a little bubbified, as I had told you previously. And you saw where I got all the parts from Century Arms International, basically to do a full refurbishment on that. They had barrels for that thing for like $38 in the white, brand new. I'm like, well, if the barrel shot out, I'll have a nice barrel. Of course, I had kind of bought all that stuff before I got that Yugo SKS. So it was kind of sight unseen. It was just kind of prepping for the worst. But I will do a series on refurbishing that and returning it to its full militarized configuration. It's as imported configuration, not its bubbified configuration. So just wanted to recap with that. I want to thank all my subscribers, thank everybody for tuning in, and thank you all for your comments, your likes, your shares. Like I've stated many times before, I'm just a small name channel that is entirely self-funded, and sometimes that gets very costly. It's not easy. It's not easy to make your place. It's very hard, unless othentimes, if you look on YouTube, there's a lot of females that can grow their channels extremely quickly. But for us guys, it's not so simple. So anyway, just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching this, and until next time, you guys have a great day.